Welcome to the Dan Miller Show. I know it's been a while. I mean, it's the off season, so we got a few weeks before our actual training camp starts. What, 3 more weeks at the end of July. Hope you all had a good 4th of July. America celebrates 250 years. Um, not too much. Hope you all were safe. Enjoyed the fireworks. Had a lot of food and hang out with the family. Nobody got too hurt. Right around the block for us, where I live right now in Buffalo. A 12-year-old kid lost half his hand for fireworks. So, you know, guys got to be safe out there. Let moms and dads do them. 18 and up, be responsible, or go somewhere and let professionals do them. So, you know, but back to the Buffalo Bills. My bowl prediction for the Buffalo Bills and the AFC power ranking. I've written down everything, and I have we'll we'll go 1 through 7, and then we'll go through the hunt and like who's in the hunt and potential wild card and stuff like that. I got the Buffalo Bills at the number 1 seed, 14-3. Denver Broncos, I have the second seed at 14-3 as well, but Bills beat Denver in Denver on Christmas. Yeah, because we played Kansas City. We'll get to Kansas City in a minute here. They're in the playoffs. Spoiler alert. Um, but yeah, the Buffalo Bills also, I have them in beating Denver, so that's why they got the number 1 seed. Number 3 seed is the New England Patriots. The offense, it's okay. We'll see with AJ Brown there, Drake May, and everything. So we'll see what happens with that and everything as well. But I have them 11-6. I also have Cincinnati as the 4th seed um, at 10-7. Cincinnati 10-7. So, you know, also Kansas City I also have 10-7 as the 5th seed. So I think the Bengals will be good. Joe Burrow, as he stays healthy, they are a very dangerous team on offense. Um, you know, the defense I'm still questioning about. We know New England's defense is good. Broncos defense are good. Bills, I think their defense is going to be okay, but their offense is way better than Denver's and New England's, and probably a little bit better than Cincinnati. KC about equal, I would say. It comes down to Joe Brady versus Andy Reid. Who knows what happens with that and everything. But then I have the Chargers, the LA Chargers, at 9-8. That's the 6th seed. And Jacksonville Jaguars, also 9-8, as the 7th seed. That's my bold prediction right now in the AFC power ranking. Obviously, I'll be doing power ranking this year. Um, that'll come out on Tuesdays, um, on YouTube and TikTok and everything else, Facebook. So look for that. Hit like, subscribe to the channel. In the hunt, I have Baltimore 8-9, Indianapolis Colts 8-9, Pittsburgh Steelers 8-9, Houston 7-10. Their defense is good, but their offense is not so good, and we'll have to see what Stroud does. C.J. Stroud. I mean, he did play for Ohio State, a team I like to root for. So Baltimore, you know, watching a video, who's gonna right now the odds of winning MVP is it Lamar Jackson versus Josh Allen? And some say Josh Allen. The other half says not even close. Lamar's going to win it. This and that. You know, could Joe Burrow be in that conversation as well? You know, he gets his team back to the postseason, maybe as the fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh seed. You know, depending on how their defense goes. And we know their offense is as good as Baltimore and Jacksonville and the Chargers and KC, New England. Well, I think they're better in New England. Denver and Buffalo as well. You know what I mean? So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that and everything. Um, but like seriously, you know, is it gonna be like that? You know, Josh Allen could win the MVP again, but he did it. Okay, you won the MVP. Cool. You know, let's get to the Super Bowl. Um, can Joe Brady get the Bills the number one seed? I think he gets the number one seed. He is coach of the year. You know, could be the coach of the year throughout the year because he did something Sean McDermott didn't do. Get the number one seed, get the bye, and go right to the division round, where maybe it's these teams, you know, well, it won't be two, 3 through 7, whoever wins, unless 2 seed loses 2. You know, it'll be Denver. They'll host. New England will host, and Cincinnati will host. You know, everybody else will have to wait and see. And see play on the road, unless they beat out Cincinnati. I mean, it could be reversed. If that's reversed, I'm right on. If everything's like this, and you know, Cincinnati and KC all reversed, or New England, you know, let's say KC jumps to the third seed. Cincinnati's the fifth seed, KC, or New England's, you know, the fourth seed. You know, I was like, oh, I got the teams right. You know, just those got swapped a little bit. You know, Chargers offense could be really good when Mike McDaniels is the offensive coordinator. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. This I got this. It's just bold prediction for the Buffalo Bills for them to give them one seed at 14-3, which I think they could do at 14-3. So we got that as well. Um, that's my take on it. You know, bold prediction on that. So yeah. Um, so that's my power ranking for that. You know, the Bills number one, Denver number two, New England number three, Cincinnati number four, KC number five, LA Chargers number six, and the Jacksonville Jaguars at number seven. In the hunt it is the Baltimore Ravens, Colts, Steelers, and the Texans. You know, Texans at 17-10. But we'll see what happens. Now, if we want to do another bowl prediction, you know, we could do more about the Buffalo Bills, not just the AFC power ranking, which I think could happen, and coaching and stuff like that. MVP, I think Josh Allen could receive it. You know, shall we figure out how many catches, who's going to lead the league in catches this year in receiving? Um, is it going to be Moore, Kincaid, Shakir, Johnson, Cook? You know, or maybe it's somebody else. You know, that we're not thinking of. I think, man, between DJ Moore and Dalton Kincaid, I think they're going to be close to receiving yards. Maybe DJ Moore gets more touchdowns, but Kincaid got more catches. You know, could Kincaid be one, DJ Moore be two, Shakir will definitely get up there 3. You know, I didn't even put Skylar Bell on here or Keon Coleman. Maybe it's Brandon Cooks if we sign him off the free agent list. I mean, got speed. Excuse me. He's got speed, but maybe it's Ty Johnson out of the backfield. Is James Cook out of the backfield? Or, like I said, it could be somebody else. You know, could be Coleman, Palmer, but I don't know if he'll make the roster or not. So, like, you know, we can go back to old episodes, but we could look at it right now if you guys want to. You know, Josh Allen, obviously, the offense. The only wide receiver, I have. So I have how many? One, two, three, four, five, six. Six. Nico Hardman is your sixth guy. Boom. He slides in. Great special teams guy. Punt returns. Kickoff returns possibly as well. Oh, wow. I am truly apologize, guys. But, you know, Palmer depends. If they go five wide receivers, you know, we'll know in a few weeks, anyways. But if they go five wide receivers, Palmer could be on injured reserve because he's not ready yet. So Bell will move up to number four, and Keon or Miko Collin, Miko Hardman will move to number five. Palmer's out, or it's just on IR. Maybe they just release him. But defense is going to be difficult. Offensive linemen, or defensive linemen and linebackers, Shaq Thompson and stuff like that. They go 4, 5, 6 deep because defensive linemen definitely, 5 or 6 deep. Cole Bishop, C.J. Gardner Johnson, Stone, DeMar Hamlin, practice squad. I don't think he will make it. We got Tyler Bass and Wilsonowski. Ferguson, Tommy Warren Jr. is our punter as well. Drafted out of Florida. In the draft. So hopefully, you guys, hopefully this will come out to be what we need for the Buffalo Bills. So, but wide receiver is going to be the main focus. I'm going to focus on in training camp this year. Keyed on everybody, but defensive linemen, linebackers, corners, Alford, Harrison, Benford. Those guys are going to be your corners 1, 2, 3. Maybe, Trey White goes back as your third, fourth guy, maybe fifth. Sorry, holy cow! Can't stop yawning. Once it starts, you keep going. But yeah, who knows? I mean, Bishop, Stone, Gardner Johnson, C.J. Gardner Johnson, GJ. But we'll have to wait and see what C.J. Gardner does, Stone does, so in minicamp, training camp when it starts in a few weeks, we'll have to wait and see what happens, for them and as well. Bell and Hartman and Palmer and Coleman, Shakir and Moore, we got the fullbacks as well. There's the Kiba fullback, as well and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see what happens and everything. So the next one will be in a few weeks when training camp starts at the end of July, July 29th, as we get ready. So hopefully you guys will stay tuned to this. Hit and like, subscribe to the channel, and rate and review. Let me know in the comments if you think I'm right with the roster or the AFC playoff picture in 2026 season, stuff like that. Please make a comment. Let me know. Send me a message. Hit me up. We'll do this. Like I said, in the off season, but once the season starts, I'll try to do as much as I can. It'll be twice a week, starting in September when football season starts. I'll have or three times a week. Sorry, I'm gonna do my reaction right after the game. Take some notes and stuff like that. I'm gonna watch the game, take some notes, and go from there. Also, to for the Buffalo Bills, I would do right after that, and then I'll do a podcast about them right after as well. Right after the game, and then the next day, I'll do a podcast. Now that I like, whether it's good, bad, the ugly, I'll be like, all right, calm down. Let's eat dinner. Go and do this podcast, and then we'll, get you guys out there, and then, my power ranking, but that'll be like real quick. It'll be video and audio as well, but it'll be real quick. So, like I said, hit like, subscribe, and thank you for tuning in to the Dan Miller Show.